any war stories of physicians coming on like a volcano into your office?
I think they can sometimes tend to come in hot.
As I mentioned earlier, I like smoky, not spicy. So
Wow.
Oh, this one is...
That hits immediately. And I think read, listen, apply.
I love it.
That's awesome.
Welcome to a special edition of the System Logic Podcast. In honor of being on location in Nashville, Tennessee, we engaged healthcare leaders attending the AAPCP conference in some truly spicy conversations. This is the Hot Comp Challenge. Our guests will attempt to answer tough questions while trying some of the hottest sauces in town as we turn up the heat on physician compensation logic, administrative bottlenecks, and healthcare technology. No sugarcoating, no scripts, just raw data, fast pacing, and pure logic. Let's dive in.
Hi, welcome to the System Logic Podcast. We are here live in Nashville, Tennessee at the AAPCP conference. I am joined today by, of course, Dan Iliff, my colleague at Simplify, and Rachel Strittmatter from the Ohio State University. Rachel, thank you so much for joining us.
You're very welcome.
Yeah. Is this your first time at the conference?
It is not. I have actually been coming to the conference since the very first one in Indianapolis.
Oh, you're a veteran.
I am a veteran.
Absolutely.
I am a veteran.
A pro.
So for the audience, tell us a little bit about what organization you're with and what role you have over there.
So I'm with Ohio State. I'm the director of physician compensation programs. I handle all faculty and physician compensation for all physicians. We have about 1,800 that are under my purview. We also have a community arm that are employed. We have some rural healthcare out in Madison County that we have a partnership with. And we have an ED staffing company as well as anesthesia. And our community primary care is exploding right now. So between all of that is probably a little over 2,000, probably like 2,200 maybe.
Holy smokes.
Yeah. And I have been doing this for almost 20 years.
Yeah.
So I'm a veteran in the industry and veteran of the conference. And
of course.
Pretty exciting to be in academic medicine right now.
Wow. So if Coach Day came to you and said, "Can you handle the quarterbacks?" You could manage the quarterback comp too.
I think probably we could negotiate something.
Yeah, there you go.
Absolutely.
There you go. Fantastic.
Yes.
Fantastic.
How did you get into that position, Eric?
So it's interesting. When I started in big Catholic healthcare almost 20 years ago, our team did the compensation calculations, and I reported in finance. So I was like in my early 20s, and we were doing just the calculations and the journal entry and budgets. And I had someone take me under my wing, and she ended up creating a position for me in operations. And then I followed her to a rural health system in Zanesville, Ohio. So, but healthcare's a little bit my blood. My mom was a chief nursing officer in a small community hospital. She started as a nursing assistant and worked her way up.
Wow.
Spent about 25 years in the ER. So I'm, the trauma bay kid, in a small community hospital.
Likewise.
So she was definitely a pretty big inspiration in my life.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Well, since we are in Nashville and they have a tradition of hot chicken, we are also doing on System Logic Podcast, our Hot Comp Challenge. So we have in front of you here some chicken nuggets with an array of different spicy levels. So as we dive in here, we're all going to take a quick bite, and then we'll dive into some more questions.
Sounds good.
All right.
Sounds good. Okay, I'm going to start with this side and see what happens.
That's the level 4 right there. Got a little tang there.
Not too bad. The afters.
Yeah, just wait a minute.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a little bit of latent heat.
So you've always probably dreamed of being in the physician compensation space, right?
Oh, sure. Definitely. When I was a kid, I totally dreamed of that. I did not. I went to college, got an accounting degree, and thought, I'm going to be a CFO someday.
Right.
And I always, that healthcare kind of desire was already there, kind of always there. I actually started my accounting career in commercial real estate.
Okay.
And then a job opened up at Mount Carmel, which is a large Catholic health care organization in Columbus, and I moved there, and I just haven't really looked back since.
Okay.
Definitely a love affair.
Yeah, fantastic. And with an organization as large as Ohio State, 2,500 providers, you must have just 2,500 different comp structures and different contributing elements to that.
So we have what I would tell you is a baseline framework of a compensation plan with a lot of different flavors. So it's kind of like Baskin Robbins. They can kind of go pick and choose in certain things, but we have a lot of structure built, which has been really, really helpful. Prior to the implementation of this comp plan, which happened actually 8 months before COVID hit, it took us several years after that to really get stabilized. But we definitely have many flavors, but the same guiding principles are there. But we do run about 23 models.
Yeah,
As
my
of today,
goodness, my
yeah.
goodness. Which of your physicians has the highest spicy level? How many inputs is the most complicated physician that you can think of?
It's interesting. We've just done some new points-based models that have been really innovative and cool.
Yeah,
I would tell you anesthesia has quite a bit of inputs, but we had the biggest impact with their new model. It's been really, really amazing, actually. And right now our cardiology is big. We've got a lot of inputs in cardiology.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
So have you seen growth happen through acquisition?
No, it's been natural. We have a closed medical staff, so you do have to be employed to be on the medical staff. So really, it's just been natural growth of the organization. Now, on the community side, definitely have had acquisition growth.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you mentioned a lot of standardization. So how did you kind of get to that standardization?
A lot of that work came before me.
Okay.
They went on a big 3-year journey with a consulting firm to create that centralized comp plan, and then we've just really evolved it since then.
Okay.
All right. Time for number two, the medium level here. Ooh. Now that one's actually a little sweeter.
It's a little bit sweeter. It tastes
Got a
like,
little bit of sweet,
like,
but it's a
like a green salsa kind of
exactly a
feel.
little higher heat,
Yeah.
but it's a little bit sweeter.
Yeah.
So
That's delicious.
it is delicious.
It actually has a really nice flavor.
I do like that one.
That spice
I do
is
like
certainly
The
creeping
after-
up.
yeah, it's definitely a creeper. After.
Now, Rachel, are you a home chef? Do you use some spices in your cooking? At
I
home?
do. I'm a pretty good cook.
Yeah.
I'm from a small town, so
Okay.
not a lot of options for eating out. But I will cook with spice, and I put hot sauce on like a lot of things.
Of course. What's your specialty? What's something that's a crowd pleaser?
I am a sourdough baker, so I do
That's
definitely
awesome.
sourdough and probably spaghetti and meatballs. I make a really nice meatball.
I like
Okay.
it. I like it.
We'll come over whenever the invite comes out.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
No
Exactly. When we're swinging through Columbus.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, one of the things that I was thinking about as we were prepping for today was the change in the Medicare fee schedule, right? Obviously, every year we've got new MPFS, new RVU rates. What are some of the changes that you really have felt have been the biggest headaches for you? What are some of the things that have caused you the biggest heartburn?
For us, just implementing a work review productivity model
Yeah.
in July of 2019, and then COVID hits, and then the 2021 fee schedule change.
So that was the introduction of the model
It was the
just before
introduction.
COVID.
It was just
and then
before
all the surveys got
COVID.
disrupted, et cetera.
It's been
oh my goodness.
a big challenge for
Yeah.
us, just kind of trying to find that stability. And, I think just the reevaluation of our work reviews, really the right driving volume force for us.
Yeah.
So I would say 2021 was the biggest disruption for us, and just really trying to get people to understand that it's the same work, it's just valued more. So we've got to take a little bit of a pause, but we were able to implement within 6 months.
Yeah.
This 2026 has been a bit of a challenge as
Yeah.
well. Just trying to make the decision to let things happen naturally or to hold. I think letting things happen naturally is kind of what the trajectory that we're on at the moment. I know a lot of people are really concerned about the OB unbundling.
Yes.
We don't have laborists.
Okay.
So I have less of an impact there, which is really nice. Actually, them unbundling will help my model at this time.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And you said you have both the community arm and the faculty arm.
Yep.
Who comes in with the spiciest questions? Who comes in with the hottest takes on their productivity or their comp model?
The community people are so just head down and work. Like it's just a different, it's definitely a different environment.
Yeah.
It is kind of closer to private practice in our community arm than an like a traditional employed environment, but it's
Yep.
kind of a nice bridge between the two from my perspective. I would say right now our toughest challengers are cardiology with our new model. And some of our surgical oncology has been interesting. We have a pretty robust pancreatic surgery program or hepatobiliary surgery program.
I gotcha.
And
Livers.
they do some really interesting stuff with and the codes are not quite as well developed there.
Okay.
So they can usually throw us for a twist,
Yeah.
especially being an NCI accredited cancer hospital. They're always doing really cool, innovative things.
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. So as you think about obviously the changes in the RVUs for you guys, but having been in the industry myself for a couple of decades as well, and seeing the introduction of a lot of the value-based models and some of the more innovative alternative payment models, the APMs that CMS and HHS have come out with, how are you guys tackling some of those, or have you just been setting those to the side given the structure of your academic basis?
Interesting. We have a really robust value-based structure. One of the I report through IT, which is a really strange reporting relationship, but also under that purview on the medical group side is regulatory programs.
Okay.
So we have a good partnership there. I would say our primary care models where we're seeing some of those alternative payment options.
Yeah.
We have a pretty robust quality bonus and things like that. So
Okay,
it's
okay.
been really good.
What are some of the things that constitute the quality bonus piece? What goes into that?
So we're usually looking at the metrics that impact the most value-based programs. So it's all the things that you're thinking about: controlled A1C,
Sure.
pneumonia vaccine, breast cancer screening,
Yep.
colonoscopies, those kinds of things.
Okay.
Diabetic scans, things like that.
What's your typical way of communicating out to your providers when changes happen?
So typically we have a layered communication strategy where things go out to the department chairs and division chiefs, as well as the department and division administrators. I would tell you we have a really good benchmarking, a good monthly reporting tool that goes out through Click. Like I said, I'm very fortunate to report to IT, so we do have that really nice reporting structure there.
That's wonderful. Do you have physician champions in your network that really help to kind of take on some of those physician-to-physician conversations?
Some of them do. Some of the departments do. Some of them have like a director of like a vice chair of financial operations that take on comp. Sometimes we do. Some other operational roles, especially clinical ops people, we usually partner with. So it's a nice dyad model.
Yeah, yeah. Well, speaking of dyad model, I think we should dive into number 3.
Yeah.
Why not?
All right.
And take a sample of the level 6.
Okay.
Pleasure.
I think I went the opposite direction. So
No, you went the
opposite direction.
Okay.
I was in common in the middle one
Yeah.
with everybody, but no.
Well, the middle one, I think, like you said, is just a little bit more sweet. This one, the 6, I don't know. What do you
smoky,
think?
is it
Little
smoky?
smokier?
It's a little smoky.
A little smokier, yeah.
I like the
was
flavor.
definitely going to say it's a little more of a barbecue, whereas the previous
Yeah.
one was kind of more of like almost
green
like a
salsa.
Tex-Mex
Yeah,
kind of like
yeah.
salsa type of deal. Yeah, absolutely. Dan, what's your favorite go-to when you do barbecue? Do you go for the smoky? Do you go for the spicy? Or you go for the sweet?
Smoky.
You go with the smoky?
I love to smoke the meat. Yep.
Yeah,
The smokier, the better for me.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, we're in here in Tennessee, so maybe get some ribs and maybe a little pulled pork here.
Oh,
in Tennessee.
100%.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I think
I'm
so.
in.
That'll be later in the day. Yeah, it'll be later in the day. Well, listen. So as you think about the composition of your medical group, right? You've got the physicians, you got the APPs, you got academic, you got the community physicians. Are there opportunities for you to find, or do you ever sort of try to find common areas for those folks to all collaborate on certain quality metrics or productivity elements, or how does that come together in such a large group like what you've got?
So we have definitely we have several points-based, what I would call a points-based model.
Yeah.
We've coined a term, our anesthesia folks were the first people to go live on that, and it's
Yep.
called a clinical value unit, or a CVU.
Okay.
And we've been able to utilize some of that nomenclature and that methodology in several models. We're working through a radiology redesign that we believe is going to be a huge win
Okay.
for the organization.
Yeah.
Anesthesia is on that, and it has been a huge win. We went from closing ORs because of unavailable providers to the last 2 years we haven't closed an OR due to physician unavailability.
Wow, that's great.
So it has made a huge difference,
And
and
I know
we're really proud of that.
We've got a lot of audience members that might be, like you said, new to the industry or
Mm-hmm.
might be in grad school or whatnot. And so when you say these are wins for us, what does that mean to you? Like, is that just a pure, like, physician satisfaction piece? Is it an increase in productivity? Like, what are some of the elements that you're using to define what a big win is for OSU?
From my perspective, it's a win for the organization, meaning we're seeing throughput, we're not seeing diminished productivity or access. really we're having trouble with access and read turnaround times in radiology. So it's a win for the patient as well as a win for the physician. So it's really that partnership between the organization and the physician to create a better patient experience.
Okay. And, sorry, Dan.
Yeah, no, I was going to ask kind of over to a little bit on physician burnout and physician experience. So it sounds like the communication that you all have with your providers is really great. Do you have experience with providers being upset and wanting to leave, and what are some of the reasons for that?
Physicians never want to leave. What are you
No, of
talking
course
about,
not.
Dan?
Of course not.
So definitely, and I think some of that is just cultural. I think it's sometimes you want to throw money at physicians to keep them here, but sometimes it's something as simple as, why are you scheduling me 2 days in a row in anesthesia? Yeah. I was just on call and at risk and came in for a terrible case until 3 a.m. Why do I have to come in at 8 o'clock in the morning to staff, an OR room when a CRNA could do that?
Right.
So I think some of that is flexibility, creating some flexibility in some of these models. I think we're seeing people leave for money. And I think we're seeing people leave for promises of other things. I think we've been able to retain people with some non-traditional things, leadership, legit leadership positions, personal growth. We have a really robust, being an academic medical center, we do have a really robust tuition reimbursement policy. So further education,
that's
other
an
things.
investment
So
for
it's a lot of investment into that. And the good thing on our side is we have a big shiny new tower that was built and added about 400 beds. It's almost 2 million square feet.
Oh, wow.
The largest healthcare facility opening in 2026.
Okay.
So that is, when you have shiny and new, it makes it much easier for recruitment and retention.
Yeah. All right. Well, so before we dive into a few more questions, we do have one last level of heat. I don't know if you want to try. This is the hottest one. Dan, do you want to try it?
I'm going to try it.
Let's
see
what
happens.
happens.
This is going to be a little
There's a dab.
nerve-wracking.
I'll just put a touch over
Like
here.
a little
in case
dibble.
You don't have to.
I'll try it.
Yeah.
Okay. I may take a bigger bite of chicken.
There you go.
There you go.
The
Strategy,
absorption.
Dan.
All right,
Strategy.
we're all gonna try this one.
This is actually a little terrifying. As I mentioned earlier, I like smoky, not spicy. So
Wow.
Oh, this one is.
That hits immediately.
Okay.
yeah,
What's going through your mind as you try that? That's the level is quite hot.
yeah. So
I'm sweating.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a little nose dew there.
Wow.
My goodness.
it's kind of like a volcano. It's like,
A little bit.
There you go.
starting underneath and just starts to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, do you have any war stories of physicians coming on like a volcano into your office?
I think they can sometimes tend to come in hot because I think physicians inherently, they don't understand what we do. We don't understand what they do. So I think it's just really trying to de-escalate those situations. I went in early in my career when the cardiology employment was happening, we had a really tense relationship with a group. And I would tell you there's still, to this day, by the end of my 7 years at Mount Carmel, my favorite physicians I've ever worked with.
Yeah.
And just really hard-fought wins with them. So I think, just being a normal human being and just, any kind of thing, data and things that they need, and just showing that you're human is really, really important.
And I find that reflecting the passion, not as a defensive mechanism, but just tapping into that and trying to redirect or to reflect that in a way that they find also valuable is important, right? If they're really important to them is the patient access piece or the quality of the care or some other element of, maybe it's their team, their MAs and their nurses, right? They want that workflow to go well for them as well. And so oftentimes some of the questions are just purely from a great place, and you just got to find where that is and redirect that energy and hopefully address some of the issues that they raise, right?
I think sometimes small wins mean everything. Kind of just bringing yourself down.
100%. And that proactive communication helps them to understand that you know their world enough to be able to help
Agreed.
Get into their life and say, hey, we want to make this work for both of us. And we understand you're putting a tremendous amount of effort into your schedule. So let's reward in different ways.
I agree.
Yeah. Well, as we close today, final question, word of advice that you might have for somebody that is thinking about coming into the industry today on the administrative side, either on your team or within the medical group someplace.
Maybe they have a dream about.
They have a dream.
perhaps,
They
yeah.
definitely have a dream. So I think just listen and apply. Go back to your desk. There is no rule book for this job.
Yeah.
Listen to everything, take it all in. I think if you want to be on the financial operations side or the provider compensation side, you have to understand what they're doing.
Yeah.
Spend time with the physicians, listen to what they're saying. You end up becoming an armchair physician in the end as
course.
well. But I think that that's so important. And just listen.
Yeah.
And I think read, listen, apply.
I love it.
That's
I love
awesome.
Well, listen, thank you so much for joining us today. Enjoy the rest of the conference, and I guess go Bucks.
Yeah, go Bucks.
There you go.
Thank you so much.
Well, that's the System Logic podcast for today. Thank you so much for Rachel for joining us on the Hot Comp Challenge here in Nashville, Tennessee. If you want to hear more conversations like today, please like and subscribe us at Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. And we'll see you next time. System Logic.